Hello, how are you doing? Today, we're going to talk about how to make sentences in the simple present in English. Well, my name is Joanna Gabrielle. I speak 5 languages and I'm here to help you finally get rid of intermediate and finally get to understand and speak English fluently in 6 months. So, today we're going to talk about the present simple, the simple present, and we're going to, first of all, let's see what does it mean? What is simple present? Simple present is a statement, it's a fact. It's used to talk about facts. What is a fact? Something that is always true. Something that is always true in the present moment. For example, if I want to say that I live in London, this is a fact because I live in London in the present moment, and it's something that's always true because if you ask me today morning, I live in London. If you ask me tonight, I still live in London. And if you ask me tomorrow, I still live in London. So it's a fact, it's always true. Even if I move to another place later, but now it's always true. It's not something that I am living in London now, for example. I am teaching English right now in this moment, but some minutes later, I will not be teaching English anymore. So this is something that's true now. But if I say that I teach English for a living, it's always true because it's something that I always do. It's a fact. So the present simple is used to talk about facts. So something that's always true and something that's in the present moment. But you need to be very careful about this present moment because the present moment can be confused about the current moment right now. I mean, when I say that I work, it means that it's something that I always do. But when I say I am working, it means that I am working right now. I am doing this right now. So there's this difference. When I say I am doing something, it's not present simple. When I say I do something, it is the simple present. But when I say that, for example, it's not always about me. So the present simple is also present in facts about life, about nature, about people, about animals, about anything. For example, if I say people live in the earth, it's a fact, right? People, human beings, they live in the earth. So it's the simple present. If I say, like, the sun exists, it's the simple present because it's something that's in the present moment. It exists now. And it's always true because if you ask me this years in front, the sun will still exist. So it's something that's always true and it's in the present moment. Pay attention, realize that I'm not saying the sun is shining or the sun is doing something now, but I'm stating a fact. It exists. Okay, so this is the simple present. And so it's about facts, okay? Facts. But now, how do we use it? The first thing you have to know is how flexible the verbs can be. So let's talk about the verb to dance. It means that dancing, and we're going to see how flexible this verb can be in English, agreeing to the subject. So the subjects in English are I, you, he, she, it, we, they. So these are the subjects. And we have to agree the verb with the subject. For example, talking about the verb to dance, as I said before, it has to agree. And how does it work? I dance. Okay? This you probably already know. You dance. He dance. No, he dances. So we have to put this S in the end of the words when talking about he, she, and it. The other ones are without the S. So I, you, we, and they are dance. He, she, and it are dances. So I dance, you dance, he dances, she dances, it dances, we dance, they dance. So this is how flexible the verbs are in English. And it happens with all the verbs. For example, if I want to do this same thing with the verb work, I would say I work, you work, he works, she works, it works, we work, they work. So it works the same, exactly same way. I work, you work, he works, she works, it works, we work, they work. Okay? So pay attention to it when telling one sentence to someone because it needs to be agreeing. Okay? So when I say, for example, this is a fact. I work teaching English. This is a fact because it's something that's always true. It's not true now and it's gonna be different some minutes later. It's always true for me. And it's in the present moment. I work teaching English currently in my life. So it's my present. So this is the simple present, okay? I work teaching English. What is a fact about you? Leave in the comments below what's a fact about you that it's always true and that's happening, that's in the present moment. This is something that's really interesting about being always true because even if I'm not teaching English now, it's still true because I teach English. So if I say I live in London, even if I'm not in London right now, it's still true because I live there. So it's something that even though you're not necessarily doing it now, but it's still true. It continues to be true because you do it in the present moment in your life. Okay? So this is how we do it. Remember to put the S in the end of the verbs when talking about he, she, or it. Okay, that's the third person. And these are the affirmative sentences. How do we do the negative sentences? How do we do this? First of all, we have to know, do, and does. These are our friends. They're always going to be with us in the negative sentences in English. So if I want to say that I work teach English, I do this. But if I want to say that, no, it's not what I do, I must use I do not work teaching English. So I do not. Pay attention. It's not I not do. No, it's I do not. I do not work teaching English. Remember, remember when I said that the verbs change with he, she, and it? Yeah, this one changes too because I do, you do, he does, she does, it does, we do, they do. So this is how it's made of. This is how it works. So I do, you do, he does, she does, it does, we do, they do. Okay? So let's make negative sentences with these. If I say, I do not live in London, you do not work here. That's a fact. You do not work here. He does not. The rest of the sentences, it's the same thing, okay? He does not talk to me. She does not live in New York City. It does not happen. We do not know each other. They do not talk to each other. So these are all negative sentences. Realize that these are all facts and some things that are true all the time. It means that I'm not saying that they are not talking to each other right now, but I'm saying that they do not talking to each other. They do not talk to each other. If you ask me today or tomorrow or yesterday, they wouldn't be talking to each other either. So it's not only now, it's a fact. It's something that's in the present and it's something that's always true. Remember. So I do not, you do not, he does not, she does not, it does not, we do not, they do not. This is how it works. Okay? And how to make questions in the simple present in English. Well, we always gonna use do and does as well. So we're only gonna change the place where it is. So I do live in London becomes do I live in London? You do work here becomes do you work here? Do comes first. He does talk to me becomes does he talk to me? She does live in New York City. Does she live in New York City? It does not happen. Does it happen? We do know each other. Do we know each other? They do talk to each other. Do they talk to each other? See how easy it is to to turn those affirmative sentences in questions. You only have to put do and does in the beginning of the sentence, right before the subject. So I do becomes do I. You do becomes do you. He does become does he, and so on. So you always have to put the do and does first and right after the subject. And of course, you take off the not because it's a affirmative question, okay? So do I live in London? I don't know. Do I? Do you work here? I'm not sure. Does he talk to me? I can't remember. So you can always use does and do to help you in this process, in these sentences. Okay, so this is all you have to know about the simple present in English. It's always useful because this is the most ever used tense in English, okay? It's something that's always true and it's a fact. It's in the present moment, okay? So leave in the comments below one sentence in the simple present in English. Remember to follow me and like this video if it helped you, and see you next time. Bye bye.